Okay, so we will discuss the middle ear under these following headings. So first is the location, then boundaries. Middle ear comes in your theory. Okay, different walls. It has 6 walls. Different walls comes in your theory. Mainly medial wall, posterior wall. All these are important. Okay, for theory questions. So location, its boundaries, tympanic membrane. Tympanic membrane forms lateral wall of the middle ear. Its content, blood vessels and nerves, mastoid antrum and the ear cells and applied aspects we will discuss. Okay. So ear is divided into 3 main parts. This up to this tympanic membrane, this outer part, external auditory canal, this is included in the external ear. Okay. Next, this red colored portion, this part is forming the middle ear. And you can see this tube. This is eustachian tube or auditory tube. Via this tube, the middle ear is connected to the pharynx, nasopharynx. Yesterday you have seen the opening of the auditory tube in the head neck section. So this auditory tube will open into the nasopharynx. Okay, and this cochlea and semicircular canals, vestibule, all these are forming together the internal ear. Okay, so these are the 3 parts of the ear: external ear, middle ear, and internal ear. Okay. Next, we are going to the location, shape, and communication. So, middle ear, it is located within the petrous temporal bone. Okay, petrous part of the temporal bone, and it is lined by mucous membrane and filled with air. And this function of the eustachian tube is to keep the air pressure equal on the 2 sides of the tympanic membrane. Okay. And there is this middle ear communicates with the nasopharynx via the auditory tube and mastoid antrum. Mastoid antrum is lying within the mastoid process of the temporal bone. Okay. So these are the 2 communications of the middle ear. And what is the shape? It looks like a biconcave disc on coronal section. Upper part is broad, lower part is broad, and middle part is constricted. Okay, so it has a biconcave shape on coronal section and pistol shaped in a section along the long axis. Pistol shaped means the tube of the pistol represents the auditory tube. Okay, so it is pistol shaped in section along the long axis. So what are the functions of the middle ear? It helps in amplification of the sound vibration and conduction to the internal ear. Okay, so amplification occurs through this middle ear ossicles mainly. These are the different walls. It is a square shaped box like structure, so it has 6 walls. Okay, and the 6 walls are anterior, posterior, medial, lateral, roof and floor. So these are the 6 walls of the middle ear. These are the measurements. Anterior posteriorly it measures about 15 millimeter. Vertical measurement is 15 millimeter and transverse diameter differs. In the roof, transverse diameter is 6 millimeter. In the center of tympanic membrane, it is about 2 millimeter, and near the floor, the transverse diameter is about 4 millimeter. So above and below, transverse diameter is more, and in the middle part, it is less. So that's why it is shaped like a biconcave disc like. Okay. Next, we are going to subdivisions of the tympanic cavity. It is divided into 3 parts: epitympanum, mesotympanum, and hypotympanum. Epitympanum, see, this is external auditory tube, this is tympanic membrane, and this is middle ear cavity eustachian tube. So see the portion above this tympanic membrane, this part is known as epitympanum. The portion lying at the level of tympanic membrane is mesotympanum, and the portion below this level of tympanic membrane is hypotympanum. So these are the three parts of the tympanic cavity, and this epitympanum is also called attic. Okay, this term is also asked, what is attic? Okay. Next we are going to the different boundaries. 4 walls we will discuss. Okay. First is the roof. See here, this is middle ear cavity. So this part is the roof. Here this is schematic presentation. This is roof. Okay. Roof is formed by the tegmen tympani. Tegmen tympani is thin plate of bone forming the petrous part of temporal bone. Okay. Tegmen tympani we have seen. It is pierced by greater and lesser petrosal nerve. See, this is roof formed by tegmen tympani pierced by greater and lesser petrosal nerves. Next, we are going to the floor. So, opposite to roof, here is the floor. Okay, it is formed by the jugular fossa. Jugular fossa you have seen in Norma basalis. Okay, there is a depression near the jugular foramen. So this depression is formed for the superior valve of internal jugular vein, and this jugular fossa forms the floor of the middle ear. Okay, and it is pierced by tympanic branch of glossopharyngeal nerve. See here, this nerve is piercing the floor. This is tympanic branch of the glossopharyngeal nerve. It is entering into the cavity and forming a plexus over the promontory. Okay. Next is anterior wall. This part is anterior wall. Here, this view, this is anterior wall. Okay. Anterior wall, you are getting bony carotid canal. See, this is carotid artery surrounded by the sympathetic plexus. So, bony carotid canal forming anterior wall and canal for tensor tympani muscle. Here, this is tensor tympani muscle. This canal is also lying in the anterior wall and bony part of the auditory tube. Here, this bony part of the auditory tube. Okay, all these are forming anterior wall, and this is cartilaginous part. This green part is the cartilaginous part. So these three features forming the anterior wall. Next we are going to the posterior wall. Posterior wall lies the additus to the mastoid antrum. Okay, additus means entry passage. So here, see this is mastoid process. You can see this projecting part. Within the mastoid process lies this cavity. This is known as mastoid antrum, and this mastoid antrum is connected to these air cells. Mastoid, these are known as mastoid air cells. In case of infection, this antrum and these air cells are filled with pus. Then you have to remove these parts. Okay, so this mastoid antrum, it is connected to the middle ear cavity via this passageway, and this is known as additus to the antrum. So this whole part is forming the posterior wall of the middle ear, and it is formed by additus to the antrum fossa incudis. It is a depression below this additus, that is known as fossa incudis. Next is facial canal. This vertical part of the facial canal where facial nerve is passing, this is also forming posterior wall, and pyramidal eminence. This eminence from the facial canal where the stapedius muscle is passing, through it stapedius muscle is passing, and nerve to stapedius, which is a branch of the facial nerve, also passing through this pyramidal eminence. Okay, so all these are forming the posterior wall. Additus to the mastoid antrum, fossa incudis, facial canal, vertical part, and pyramidal eminence. Okay, understood? Next we go into the medial wall. Medial wall very frequently given in your theory. Okay, medial wall of the middle ear. Medial wall and posterior wall is important for theory, and sometimes whole of the middle ear can come in your theory long question. Generally these two very frequently comes, medial wall and posterior wall. So medial wall, here you will get the promontory. See this elevated oval elevation, this is known as sacral, this is promontory. Okay. Next is fenestra vestibuli. Fenestra vestibuli is oval window. Okay. Above this promontory, this is oval window where the foot plate of stapes is attached. See this bone, this U-shaped bone with a stem, tuning fork like shaped bone, this is stapes. So this foot plate of stapes is attached here. This is oval window. And fenestra cochleae is this round window. Okay, below this, so in this schematic diagram, you practice a schematic diagram like this. So this is promontory. Above and behind this promontory, here is the oval window. Above and below and behind, this is the fenestra cochleae or round window. Okay. Round window is covered by a membrane. Next is sinus tympani. Posterior to this promontory, there is a depression that is known as sinus tympani. Next is facial canal, oblique part of the facial canal. See, this is oblique part. You can see this oblique part in the medial wall. This is mainly medial wall. Okay. So, oblique part is lying in the medial wall and vertical part is lying in the posterior wall for the facial canal. Okay. So, oblique part of facial canal. Next is processus cochleariformis. Okay. This is a hook-like bony projection. This is processus cochleariformis around which this tensor tympani muscle is hooking around. Okay. This tensor tympani is hooking around this processus cochleariformis. So, all these are features of the medial wall. Promontory, fenestra vestibuli or oval window, fenestra cochleae or round window, sinus tympani, oblique part of the facial canal and processus cochleariformis. Okay, so all these are forming the medial walls, very, very important. Next we are going to the lateral wall. Lateral wall, it is divided into two parts, epitympanic part and tympanic part. Epitympanic part, it is formed by the head and anterior process of the malleus, body and short process of the incus. See here the bones, this is malleus, this is incus. Here you can see this is malleus, this is incus. Okay, so this rounded portion is the head and here is the anterior process, head and anterior process of the malleus and body and short process of the incus. And here attached is the stapes. Stapes is removed here. So these two parts, these are forming the epitympanic part. They are lying above the tympanic membrane and tympanic part is formed by the tympanic membrane. So head of malleus, anterior process of malleus, body and short process of incus forming the epitympanic part, and this is tympanic membrane. This rounded structure you can see whitish colored. This is tympanic membrane forming the tympanic part of the lateral wall. Here we have removed the tympanic membrane partially to view the ear ossicles. See, this is malleus and long process of the handle of the malleus. Handle of the malleus is attached near the middle of the tympanic membrane. And this is incus and this is stapes, and through this handle the sound wave is passing from external auditory meatus. It is providing pressure to this tympanic membrane and this air pressure is transmitted through the ear ossicle through the foot plate of the stapes into the internal ear. Okay, so tympanic membrane is partially cut here to see the structures in the interior of the tympanic cavity. Next we are going to the tympanic membrane, which was forming main part of the lateral wall. Tympanic membrane comes as individual short note. Okay, very important short note. Tympanic membrane. Theory, important for your theory. Its dimension is about 9 to 10 millimeter maximum diameter, and position, it is placed obliquely, okay, not vertically, it is placed obliquely making an angle of about 55 degrees. And it has two surfaces, lateral surface and medial surface, and two subdivisions are there, pars flaccida and pars tensa. And it is formed by these three layers from outside inward. The layers are cuticular layer, fibrous layer and mucus layer. And these three layers are developing from three germ layers, outside ectoderm, then mesoderm, then endoderm. Okay, mucous membrane from endoderm, fibrous layer from mesoderm, cuticular layer from ectoderm. This development is asked in your viva, also important for MCQs. Okay, and this nerve supply, it is supplied by the auriculotemporal nerve, auricular branch of vagus nerve, and glossopharyngeal nerve. This is nerve supply of the tympanic membrane. So you practice a schematic diagram like this for tympanic membrane and you prepare as a short note. See this small part above, this is known as pars flaccida and this part is pars tensa. Okay, and here the handle of the malleus is attached and it is forming a depression near the middle that is known as ambo, and if you project light into the external ear canal, light will be projected in the antero-inferior quadrant. Okay, and incision over the tympanic membrane during myringotomy, for release of pus from the middle ear is given in the posterior-inferior quadrant here. See, this is how, this is ear speculum for visualization of the tympanic membrane, and it will visualize the tympanic membrane like this. See, this is handle of malleus and here is the ambo. So, depression due to attachment of handle of malleus, and this is the cone of light. Cone of light is reflected here and here is the, so this part is the pars tensa and this upper part is the pars flaccida. Small part is pars flaccida and larger part is pars tensa, and here is the posterior inferior quadrant, you give incision for myringotomy. Next we are going to the contents of the middle ear. Contents are ear ossicles. 3 ear ossicles are there, malleus, incus and stapes. Muscles, arteries and nerves. Okay, you can see this malleus, incus and stapes. These are the ear ossicles. See here the 3 ear ossicles, malleus, incus and stapes. Okay, stapes has a stirrup and a foot plate like structure. And this is incus. Incus has a short process and long process. And this joint is asked in your MCQ, incudostapedial joint. This is a ball and socket type of synovial joint, incudostapedial joint. Okay, long process of incus and stapes forming incudostapedial joint. And malleus have a head, handle of malleus, and it has a long process, anterior process and lateral process. So these are the ear ossicles. Next we are going to the muscles. 2 muscles are here in the middle ear, tensor tympani and stapedius. See here, this is tensor tympani and this is stapedius. Tensor tympani helps in tensing of the tympanic membrane, helps in easy conduction of the sound. And this stapedius pulls the footplate of stapes laterally to prevent injury to this internal ear during high pitch sounds. Okay. So these are the functions. Function of these muscles are important. Next we are going to the arteries. What are the arteries present here? Stylomastoid branch of posterior auricular artery, anterior tympanic branch of maxillary artery, petrosal branch of middle meningeal artery, superior tympanic branch of middle meningeal artery, branches of ascending pharyngeal and artery of pterygoid canal, and tympanic branch of internal carotid artery. So these are the arteries supplying the middle ear. Next we are going to the nerves, superior and inferior carotidotympanic nerves, tympanic branch of the glossopharyngeal nerve, facial nerve and cauda tympani nerve. Facial nerve is here. This is oblique part, vertical part, and here arising the cauda tympani nerve. Okay, and this cauda tympani nerve lies in 2 layers of the tympanic membrane. It is carrying the taste sensation from the posterior 1/3 of the tongue and the circumvallate papilla, cauda tympani nerve, arising about 6 millimeter above this stylomastoid foramen. Here is the stylomastoid foramen through which the facial nerve is coming out, then it will enter into the parotid gland. Okay. Next we are going to the clinical aspect of the middle ear. Some of the clinical aspects are very important asked in your explain why question. Okay, and during ENT all these are very important. So first is otitis media. Otitis media is inflammation of the middle ear. Okay, and myringotomy. Myringotomy is incision on the tympanic membrane for relieving pus from the middle ear. Next is mastoidectomy. Mastoidectomy is done. It is excision of the mastoid process, and approach is given through the McEwen's triangle. McEwen's triangle is triangular area just above the external auditory meatus, okay, near the mastoid process. Tympanoplasty in otitis media, sometimes due to release of for release of pus, tympanic membrane is ruptured. Okay, for that you have to do repair of tympanoplasty. Uh, Tympanoplasty is repair of tympanic membrane. Next, from tonsillitis, the pain is referred to ear due to connection of branches of the glossopharyngeal nerve. Okay, tympanic branch of glossopharyngeal nerve was supplying forming a plexus, tympanic plexus over the promontory, and it is also supplying the pharynx, tonsillar area. So there is in tonsillitis, the pain is referred to the ear. You must have felt sometimes. Okay, next is otosclerosis. Otosclerosis, it is deafness due to ankylosis of the stapes. Stapes is fixed due to excessive bone formation, and there is hearing loss also because foot plate of stapes cannot move properly, sound wave is not transmitted. So this is otosclerosis. And hyperacusis. Hyperacusis is hearing of noise in paralysis of stapedius. Very high, small frequency noise appears as very high frequency or high pitch noise in hyperacusis. So we will discuss some of them in details. So first, otitis media. Otitis media is inflammation of the middle ear. See here, in this is external ear, middle ear, internal ear. Middle ear pus collection due to inflammation and fluid accumulation in the middle ear. It is commoner in the children, and infection spreads from the upper respiratory tract via the auditory tube. Okay, this is eustachian tube, and infection spreads from the pharynx and discharge, and this comes in your explain why in children otitis media is more common, because in children this auditory tube is more horizontal, so there is high chance of infection in the middle ear, and there will be discharge of pus from the ear, perforation of the tympanic membrane, and the infection may spread to the mastoid ear cells also and lead to mastoiditis, meningitis, and if it pierces through the tympanic, tegmen tympani, roof, ear pierces through the roof, it will form meningitis, infection of the meninges, brain abscess, and thrombosis of the venous sinuses enter into the cranial cavity. So these are the complications of the otitis media. So ear infection is very dangerous because of these complications. Here also the pus collection have been shown. So this you prepare for your explain why. Otitis media is commoner in children because infection spreads from the nasopharynx to the tympanic cavity, as the eustachian tube is shorter and horizontal in children. Okay, that is the main reason. Eustachian tube is shorter and horizontal in position. Next is cholesteatoma. It is very important for your ENT, sometimes asked in your anatomy. So cholesteatoma is abnormal non-cancerous skin growth due to repeated middle ear infection. See here, this is tympanic membrane. From the tympanic membrane, this growth of skin is occurring into the middle ear. So abnormal non-cancerous skin growth due to repeated middle ear infection and may develop as a cyst or sac that sheds layers of old skin. Okay. Next is myringotomy. Surgical incision on the tympanic membrane should be done in posterior-inferior quadrant to avoid injury to the chorda tympani nerve. This is also asked in your explain why. Why myringotomy incision is given in the posterior-inferior quadrant to prevent injury to the chorda tympani nerve. Okay. and ossicles of the ear, usually done in otitis media to drain the pus. So this is important, explain why. Next is mastoidectomy. Mastoidectomy is done in otitis media, may spread to the mastoid antrum, resulting in mastoid abscess. And antrum is approached through the McEwan's triangle to drain the pus. Okay, so here the mastoidectomy is done. And this is asked in your viva sometimes. What is the importance of McEwan's triangle? Mastoidectomy is approached through this triangle. In your viva table it is asked. Okay. Next is referred pain in ear. This is also can be given in your explain why. Why referred pain from middle ear, referred pain of tonsillitis can be felt in the middle ear because of connection through this glossopharyngeal nerve. Usually pain may be referred in case of tonsillitis via this glossopharyngeal nerve, which is forming the tympanic plexus over the promontory on the medial wall of the middle ear. Next is otosclerosis. Otosclerosis is abnormal ossification of the annular ligament which anchors the footplate of the stapes to the oval window, and no movement of stapes will occur, resulting in conductive deafness. Okay, so otosclerosis leads to conductive deafness. Next is hyperacusis. It is paralysis of the stapedius muscle will result in hyperacusis, and where whisper appears to be noise, as stapedius dampens very loud sounds. Okay. Here in case of paralysis of stapedius, loud sound will not be dampened. So it will lead to whisper appears to be a loud sound or noise, hyperacusis. Okay. Next, this is tympanoplasty. Okay, this is tympanoplasty operation is being done. Okay, and this tympanic membrane is constructed from the temporal fossa, fossa covering the temporalis muscle here. Okay, because the same region, operation region near the ear, so that's why and it is suitable for this reconstruction. So reconstruction or repair of a hole in the tympanic membrane by own tissue from muscle sheath and grafted from the tympanic fossa. Okay, so myringoplasty or tympanoplasty, reconstruction of the tympanic membrane. So this is summarization. So middle ear cavity or tympanic cavity is present within petrous part of temporal bone. It amplifies and conducts the sound vibration, and it contains many important structures including ear ossicles, muscles, vessels, nerves, and many clinical conditions may arise due to trauma and infection, otitis media and other cholesteatoma, all those. An infection may rupture the tympanic membrane or may spread to the cranial cavity, resulting in serious conditions like meningitis, brain abscess, and venous sinus thrombosis. That's why infection is middle ear is very important. Okay, so you prepare from middle ear its boundaries. Okay, middle ear is a individual long question, mainly those parts medial wall and posterior wall. You prepare a schematic diagram and prepare for your long question. Tympanic membrane you prepare for a short note, and those explain why questions. Why pain of tonsillitis referred to middle ear and others, why the otitis media common in the children. All those explain why I have explained previously, important for your theory. Okay, and some MCQs comes, I have discussed already.